I'm CK. Tonight we have a module from another new-to-me manufacturer. This is from Jolin Lab out of Milan, Italy, and it is their GitGud LFO. I always like a good LFO, and if this helps me get good at it, I think it'll be pretty much fun. So let's put it together, see how it sounds, and I hope you enjoy the video. So here's the packaging. It comes in a cylinder. Feels like cardboard, which is good because I can throw it in the recycling. Oh, and if you don't know, if you don't play a lot of video games, GitGud, G-I-T-G-U-D, is the sarcastic response when someone is complaining about how hard a game is or a particular section of a game is. You just say, well, quit your complaining and get good. So I'm going to see if this twists off, and it doesn't twist. I can see the seal bending a little bit, so it must need a little bit. And then it's got this on the back. I think that's the region around Milan, but I'm not sure. I'm not a geography expert for sure. Comes open like that. Some nice paper packaging and some irritating confetti-like stuff. Not huge fan of that. At least it's not glitter, but it's still not my favorite thing. Let me get this out of the way because I don't want to throw it out because it is recyclable. We have a Jolin Labs We Build Stuff sticker. Put that on the sticker wall. Very small stickers. And then this, it's another Jolin Labs sticker. And again, let me deal with it. I'll put the magenta confetti in this, back in this cylinder. I really, again, I'm not a big fan of that. Stop it. Just more, just like Sweetwater Sound throwing candy in my packages all the time. Stop it. We'll open this up. This feels like the PCB and the front panel. This is nice and recyclable too. I do appreciate that. And then we've got two little paper bags. That's interesting. They're like tea bag consistency. But we'll look at the front panel first. It feels like there's surface mount stuff already soldered on here. Oh yeah, there is. There's a whole bunch. Oh, that's too bad. Okay, so it is. Put my visor on. I always forget that. It is all done for us already. Whole bunch of surface mount stuff. So we've got a row of TL074 op amps. And then we've got, what do we have here? EL817 8134. I don't know what that is. It's a 4-pin package. I don't know, maybe it's an optocoupler. I'll look it up when I go off camera. And then it's got a, oh no, that's another 074. So it's got a ton of op amps. And then on the front, we've got positions for jacks. And something goes here, I don't know what, we'll see. And here, I believe this is all touch sensitive to adjust the LFOs. I don't see any LEDs. There's some abstract lines on it, which is fun. It says Jolin on the bottom, GitGud on the top, and GitGud version 1.5, made on Earth by humans and machines. And as you might notice here, on the, this is going to be the power connector, and it's only one row of pins. which is fine because this eurorack connector duplicates all the pins. It's just 2 rows, so if you don't need them, you don't need them. Let's see what's in here. Here are the jacks with no panel nuts, which kind of makes sense if they're going to be mounted right up here on the front. They are on the panel already, so don't need panel nuts. We'll put those aside for a second. And in here we have mysterious stuff that'll go in those holes over there, I believe. Nope, we have a Allen wrench and mounting screws, which I won't be using since I use Knurley's from Bufaco, but I am glad that they put a Allen wrench in there. That's a nice touch. Okay, these are all switches, I guess, to turn on various LFOs. Wow, this is going to be, I'm going to be done in like 4 minutes doing this. So I'm going to get the soldering iron. Again, that's it. That's all the parts that we're going to be assembling because they put so much on the back. I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to see if I can find out what this chip is. And it's got to be, I'm not going to speculate. I'll figure it out. And turn soldering iron on, and we'll get this thing built. So a couple of things. First, they have a good build guide. I mean, it's minimal because it's minimal build, but it's clear. It's got good pictures. These are, as I thought, these are optocouplers. Now, on the front, there are LEDs somewhere along here. I can't see them, but they will light up at the appropriate time. I think they're here, actually. These are touch sensitive, so this reduces the LFO speed. Touching the right hand pair increases it, decrease, whatever. The most interesting thing that you'll find that you'll be interested in is these switches allow you to chain LFOs, LFO to LFO to LFO, which is pretty neat. The other thing that you can barely see here is under each switch there's a symbol. So this is a triangle LFO, this is a square wave LFO, triangle, square, triangle, square, triangle, square. So that's it. That's all the additional information we need to have on this. So we'll just go ahead and put this together again. And the cats are going to get dinner early tonight at this rate. And as always, when you're working with a circuit board that's already populated with surface mount components, be very careful and keep your eyes open. Like right here, there's an itty-bitty resistor after each switch, and there are a couple of capacitors and resistors to the side of most of the switches, and that's very easy to brush your soldering iron across, so don't do that because you may accidentally desolder it and you won't know that you did that, and things won't work and you won't be able to figure out why. I mean, I will admit, troubleshooting surface mount is not as easy as troubleshooting through-hole. So I'm going to heat that one leg up again, get it flat on the board. Put all these switches on. The switches like this you don't have to worry about which way you put them on. Okay, that's all of them. And by the way, if I wasn't explicit, and I don't think I was, this is 9 LFOs, which is really handy to have. Oh, the other thing they do mention is on this power connector, it's not polarized. So don't worry about how you connect the power cable to it. And now we'll put all the jacks on. Got to figure out which way they go. And they go this way with the angle part down. Well, this is interesting because normally I have a panel that I'm going to be putting on top of it to hold them in place while I solder it, and I'm not going to have that tonight. So I'll just kind of pick up my solder pad, hold it like that, and do that. Put my, nope, that's not going to hold it up, maybe this will. I'll hold them all in place, and again, and I just use my pointer, between these pins there's a very tiny resistor, surface mount. Be careful. So I'm going to solder all these up in fast motion, and my top camera's running out of battery, so I'll go ahead and turn that off for a second. I'll be back. Let me go ahead and tack one leg of each down, so if anything moves I won't have to reset everything. And that's all the soldering, and now plug in the power connector. And voila, we're done. One of, if not the fastest build I've ever done. That's the way the front looks, that's the way the back looks, and side doesn't really matter. Now, one thing I did that you might want to consider, I went a little heavier on the solder on the jack pins, jack legs, because since there is no front panel here, you're relying completely on the solder joint to support the jack as you're plugging it and unplugging it, where typically you have a front panel and the front panel's providing, and the nut is providing a little more stability through the front panel. You're not pulling directly on the circuit board. You are in this case. Just be aware of that. So that's it. I'll go ahead and put it in the rack, and we'll see how it sounds and what it does. Let's power it up and see if anything catches fire. No fire, and you can see the LEDs on it starting to light up. Let me do my take off autofocus on this for a second. So I see they're changing color to show their rate. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the oscilloscope. Let me turn off channel 2. Bring up the oscilloscope, and I'm just going to plug in to the top LFO, and we'll just look at the waveform. So that's the square wave, as you can tell, because the symbol above the switch is a square, and as you can see, it's not going very quickly right now. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can speed it up. And the LEDs show you the rate, of course, but the problem with that, a little bit of a problem with that, is my big old thumb is sitting on top of it, so I can't really tell. I'm not seeing the change on that one. Let me try the next one down. We'll go to the triangle. See if that looks like. Let me. That's very slow, isn't it? Okay. I say it takes time. I'm not sure this is as much time as I would like it to take. Oh no, now it's starting to pop. There it goes. Oh gosh, that was kind of a step function. I didn't really like that. And if you look at the waveform, it's not a pure triangle. Oops, gosh darn it. Didn't have the oscilloscope on. Now the oscilloscope's on. If you look at the waveform, it's got a longer leading than falling angle, which is interesting. Let me get back to this top one and see if I can get that to come up too, because the other one just took some time. Again, I'm not getting that one to go. And that's not something that I particularly did. I didn't put any of those components together. Let's go to the third LFO, which again is a square, and see if we can get that to get motivated. I'm just going to stay on this for quite a while. It's not doing anything. I'm going to go ahead and hit chain here, see what happens. Nothing. And chain there. Oh. Okay, now this one is fluttering all to be get out. Yeah, again, I'm not getting a square wave to come up faster. Let me go into that one now. Look at that. I'm sorry, this is... It's the lower one, it's the one below it that is responding. Again, let's take a look here. There we go. Now that happened really fast. I'm sorry, this is the responsiveness of these controls is baffling me a little bit, I will admit. Because I'm not getting any of the square waves to go up. But I'm doing fine with the saw waves. Look at this one. This one's going all nutty. Oop. Now it just... What the... It's kind of varying. I wonder why it's varying. I mean, that's not bad. It's just not what I expected. And what I don't typically expect from an LFO. I'm going to go all the way down here to the bottom and see what I can do with this one. Well, it's still the same old slow one. Now this one has not shown any variability. I'm sorry, do they mention this? Okay, so that is, it's being affected by, I have all the switches down now. It's supposed to vary when you chain, if you chain everything up, then you'll get interesting behaviors. Because if we go down here now we're going to get a bunch of variability as it chains down. But I thought with all the switches off, okay, I must have been chaining accidentally. I must have had a switch up. That's my fault. But I'm still not getting the square wave to increase. I really would like to do that. Maybe, let's see, I'll chain the triangle to the square below it and see if that does anything. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. Maybe I'll slow that down a little bit so there's a ramp time to actually create some modifications. Well, I'm either, again, there's not much guidance on this, but I'm not getting the square waves to change. Now, we'll hear what it sounds like if we put it in, let me see, where am I? I'm trying to remember where I am. So that's the bass drum module from Patching Panda, and I'm going to go ahead and take the output of, say, this LFO here and put it into P to K. That sounds pretty neat. I'm going to unchain that. Slowing the LFO way down. I'm going to chain from the top, I believe. Slow it down a little bit. Let's try some other sonic stuff with it. Let me go from oscillator into this VCF. And now take the, where am I? Here I am. Nope, that's not where I am. That's where I am. Now, just to explain a little further, if I can find my pointer. So, the red is when the signal is going low, blue is when it's high, and as you can see, because I've got these chained, you can see it's slow right now, but as soon as the blue comes in on the rising signal, it speeds up because these are chained together. Now, I could do it, I could chain them all the way down, and then you're getting a lot of different input. I don't know what happens if you break the chain in the middle. Yeah, if you break the chain in the middle, it just doesn't do anything. The other ones don't do anything. Let me try frequency here. I'm going to unchain that and go back to just the straight triangle. And that's a standard LFO, but then if I chain it, it becomes variable. Which is kind of neat. Now again, I'm gonna go back here, and I would like to get a square wave. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the. I got to do a couple more wires. I got to do take the output over to the multi. Grab this. Go over from the multi to CV2 again, and then plug the oscilloscope back into the other side of the multi. So as you can see, as the chain goes, it does that thing. Now I'm going to speed this up. And as you can see, because it's high a lot of the time, the signal doesn't fall completely off. But now I'm bypassing that, so let me take this all the way down here. So this is fun to play with. So I'm going to go down one further to this square wave. And that's unchained and it's going fast. Good, I can at least control this one. Very abrupt. Now let me chain it. And as it chains, its pulsations are variable. And we could go chain all the way down. See what this is doing now down here. I don't even know if this is doing anything. Oh no, that's a very, very slow. I'm going to take some of the chains out. Take all the chains out. And I'm going to go back down to the bottom square wave. And I'm going to take that out of here and I'm going to put it in as clock in for the sequencer, which is doing what? The sequencer's doing nothing. I'm going to put the sequencer CV so now I'm controlling the speed with the square wave, but I'm going to bring in this chain from the sine wave up above. So as you can see, or hear at least, you can't really see it. Yeah, you can see it. The sine wave above it is causing the speed of this LFO to vary. Now if I chain everything together, it's probably not what you want to do, but chaining a couple of them together, 2 or 3 of them together at a time is pretty neat. I'm going to take this chain out, and this LFO is responding to my finger just fine. I just can't get this one up here to respond. So that's what it does. Going to the sine wave, the triangle wave here. It's going very slow. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Because that's just, I'm just using that as gate. That's why it's sounding funny. But this is very interesting. It'll be a fun thing to play with. Again, there's no clock in, so you're getting whatever you get with whatever accuracy you can get with your finger. And as I said, some of these, I'm going to try one more thing here on the this top LFO. Variable responsiveness and long delay. This is, I'm going to say this. There, I finally got it. Finally got that one to come up. So that's pretty neat. Let's go ahead and take one of these LFOs and put it back into my resonance. Actually, I don't want to do that, do I? Take that and put it into this one. So that's what it does, except for, obviously it was a trivially easy build, so it'll take you a very short time to do this. Getting used to these touchpads takes a little bit, as you saw. The chaining ability is very interesting. To modify an LFO by another LFO on the fly is pretty cool. Not having any clock in, and the fact that the responsiveness of these pads is very slow means, at least to me, that this is really a studio unit. I don't know if I'd want to put this in a road rack and try and be adjusting things on the road, but that's just me. You may, in a pure ambient or noise setting, that could work just fine, but in a melodic type setting or a dance type setting, I'm not sure it'd work. But that's it. Again, it's a fine unit. I think I've ordered another product from them to take a look at. And it's a good unit. I'll be playing with it in the studio. And I hope you enjoyed the video.